Hello, it's Cheryl here again at the Made on Sunday studio. Oh my gosh, at the time of filming this, I am celebrating my 1 year anniversary for Made on Sundays. In case you didn't know, maybe you only found me through this YouTube channel. Made on Sunday Studio is actually a business that I started exactly a year ago. It is branding and strategic graphic design business for female entrepreneurs in the creative entrepreneurship space, service-based industry, or digital products. The past year has been a crazy year. It's been a whirlwind full of ups and downs and ups and downs. Not only did I move across the country from Canada to Amsterdam to start this business, it's also my first time being a full-time business owner. And it also all happened during a pandemic. So let's just say it's been a little crazy. I've also learned so much and I've experienced so much in the past year. So I thought it would be helpful if I filmed this video to talk about the 10 different lessons that I've learned in the past year of my first year in business. Let's go. All right. Also, before I start, I just wanted to say my husband bought me these flowers for my 1 year anniversary for Made on Sunday. So gorgeous. And I thought it was like really on brand with the wild flower look. And I love all the colors. So I thought I would have this in my background because also, in case you didn't know, I just moved apartments 2 months ago. So I have no set, like I'm planning to buy some actual furniture, but right now I just basically took all my plant babies and like made a backdrop so that it looks decent, but hope you don't mind that. Anyways, I got my iPad with all of my 10 lessons, so let's get on it. Number 1, invest in yourself. That is lesson number 1. I actually started off this business doing a big investment. I got into graphic design with no real professional graphic design knowledge. And so inevitably, if I were to get into this industry, I needed to actually have the skills to not only do graphic design, but also to run my business. So I actually made a huge investment in the beginning of it before I even started the business on the bucket list bombshells. I think I probably spent over $1,000 on all of their courses so that they taught me basic graphic design. I had some knowledge before because again, I was in marketing. So, I've done some design in the past, but not professionally. And then their courses also taught me like all the basics of business. So I was kind of like good to go. But throughout the year, I've learned how important it is to keep investing on yourself and on your business. And at the end of the day, if it's all for business, it's a good investment if it will make you money back, right? So you just really want to critically think about what you're spending your money on, but don't be stingy with it. If you need a course to grow, if you need a course to learn how to offer more to your clients, if you need to buy a mock-up to make your presentations look more beautiful, those are all really critical business expenses to help your business grow. So don't be stingy, invest in yourself and invest in your business. All right, number 2, set boundaries. And when I say this, this incorporates a lot of different things, right? There is setting boundaries for your working hours. I do not work after like 6 p.m. I have a husband that I need to feed and I need to be fed. So I like to have my personal space. I cook every day, especially since we are during the pandemic right now. But yeah, set your boundaries in terms of like working hours to your clients so they know even if they email you after hours, you will get back to them first thing the next morning or whatever it might be. Be upfront with your deadlines. So as a graphic design business, it's very important for my client to know, for me to know when they expect the deadlines to be, and also for them to know if you are going to be late to hit those deadlines or whatever it might be, and also like milestones in between the ultimate deadline, right? So those are all very important boundaries you need to set. And also other boundaries are like how involved you need your clients to be. So like basically setting the expectation of what working with you is going to be like. like if you're not offering strategic services, then that's a boundary that you need to set. You need to make sure that they understand what exactly they are paying for. And so yeah, make sure that all of that, like all other boundaries are clearly identified and communicated with you and your client. So number 3 is kind of related, is making sure that all of the boundaries that you just set for your business is written clearly on a contract. So it's not good enough to just like be on a call, like a potential client call, and be like, hey, I don't work after 6. You got to put that on your contract. You need to be very specific in terms of like, you know, prices, deadlines, milestones, working hours, and all of the boundaries that are associated with the business that you run. And making sure that the expectations are set clearly and communicated on paper on your contract and signed between the two parties so that it's all clear, you know, before you start working. Great. So that is number 3. Number 4 is niching. So in the beginning, I actually didn't niche my business, and I actually recommend, if you're just starting a business, especially for service-based businesses, if you've never done any of this before, it's extremely hard to niche. And I don't think you need to. I think the first couple of months, if not first year of working on your business, it's all about exploration, having fun, being creative, and understanding what you like and what you actually want your life to look like, right? So after the first few months of taking pretty much any client that will pay me or even not pay me or just want to work with me, I kind of niche down to, specifically for me, female-owned businesses, and they must be in like some sort of creative field for that is a service-based industry or digital products. So that might sound a little bit niche to you, but it actually isn't. I can work with all types of people. I work with nutritionists, I work with lawyers, I work with people who own digital products. I work with influencers and all of that stuff. So they are all in kind of like the digital space where they don't own a physical product. And typically, yeah, female-based, because my aesthetic is quite feminine, in case you haven't noticed yet. Usually more male-dominated industries or owners typically don't even look at my branding and even consider my branding, because I just have a very feminine style. So that's kind of what I niche down to. And after a year, I'm gonna get a lot more strict in terms of who I pick and accept as a client that don't fit in that specific niche that I am targeting. But yes, that's all I'm going to talk about niching for now. There's so much more that I can talk about, but this video is not about that. Next lesson, number 5, stand by your value. Now, I say this because in your first year of business, it's extremely hard to understand your value, but then also pricing that value, right? So in the beginning, you might be like doing some free work or like exchange of services or whatever that might be. I actually don't recommend ever working for free. The least you should be doing is exchange of services for the same value or the same dollar amount, which I did a lot in the beginning to just kind of get experience and stuff like that. But from a marketing perspective, like it's just never good to offer your value for free for nothing in exchange, because even if you are just starting out, it's still your time. Your time is still worth more than $0. So do not undervalue you and your time, especially in your first year of business. As you get more clients, more experience, and more skills, then you can start upping your prices and make sure to do that. check of how much other people in your industry and kind of your field is charging at that time, and making sure that you are not devaluing and bringing down all the prices in the industry, because not only are you devaluing yourself, but you are also devaluing the whole industry that you are now a part of. You don't want to bring down the prices for everybody who are offering services like you. Moving on, lesson number 6 is work on your mindset. Now that has a lot of different mindsets. There's growth mindset, there is self-love mindset, and knowing your worth mindset, like the one we just talked about. I find that the number one thing to succeed in starting a business is making sure that you have the right mindset. And everyone struggles with different things at different times, at different stages of building your business. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep this super broad right here, but the number one thing is just working on your business mindset. All right, lesson number 7 is trust your gut, because you have the power when you allow yourself to say no. In the beginning, when you're just starting your business, I understand it's totally hard to say no, even if you're like, I don't know about this new client. But after a year, I've totally learned that if a client is giving me tons of like red flags when I first have that potential call with them, and clearly you might not be the right person for them, they might not be the right client for you, like the conversation is just not flowing great, then you need to be able to trust your gut instincts and say no when you know it's not the right fit. So important. I just know moving forward that I will definitely trust my gut every time I see some red flags. All right, lesson number 8 is be ready to make definite decisions. All right, so I totally understand when people say there's like, what do you say, like decision paralysis. And that is like one super common thing when you first start your business. It's just so hard to decide what you want to do. Like there's just so many decisions you have to make. But in order to be a successful business owner, you need to be able to make those definite decisions. Even if it's the wrong decision, it's better to make a decision. Business is all about, especially in the creative industry, it's all about experimenting, trying things out, and just taking action one step at a time. So even if you are making a decision and you further down the line realize you made the wrong decision, you should be proud of yourself that you even took action and just made the decision, because now you know that's the wrong one and you can move forward with your day. So be ready to take definite decisions, to make definite decisions. All right, lesson number 9 is done is better than perfection. And this is super important because for those of you who are identify themselves as perfectionists, I don't know if I'm like a total perfectionist, but for my 6 years working in corporate days, the thing that I learned is it's so much better to make sure that you just get the job done. You can spend hours and all of your time on something to make it perfect, and at the end of the day, you might not even get the actual thing completed because you just keep editing it, revising it, and just making sure like that project needs to get out of the door at some point. So you can be perfectionist to a certain point, but when you know the thing is done, get it out the door, launch it, and then because you're a business owner, you always have the time afterwards to make changes as you go. So I think the number one thing that people like DM me about when I started my business was all about like, how did I get my website done? How did I get my logo? How am I doing all these things? How did I just launch a YouTube channel? It's because I don't spend the time perfecting every single thing before it goes out the door. I film these videos, usually they're one takes, and then I edit them the best as possible that I know. I put processes up so that I make sure that everything is also fast for me to do, but also just keeps everything on brand every single time. once I have those business processes in place, I can get the job done and then get them out of the door. And then as I start building out this platform, let's say, I can keep perfecting it later on. So make sure that in the beginning, get the job done, get the thing out, launch the program, whatever it might be, and then perfect it afterwards. All right, so that's number 9. The last lesson that I have learned in my first year of business is to keep taking inspired action and follow your curiosities. So I actually dedicated myself in 2019 to live a year of creativity. I knew that I needed to listen to what my heart is hoping for me to explore. And it has led me to some wild things. I mean, I moved across the country. I started this business. I started this YouTube channel. I'm working with these amazing women who are like completely aligned with my business. So when you hear those little curiosities, even if you're just like a tiny bit curious about what it might turn out to be, what it might be like to do something, follow it. If you feel inspired to do it one day, just do it and see where it takes you. You never know where you're gonna end up. So follow your curiosity and take inspired action. All right, guys, that concludes the 10 lessons that I've learned in my last year of business, in my first year of business. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. And by no means is this an exhaustive list, because honestly, I have learned so much, but those are probably my top 10 right now that I can think of. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're interested in videos on branding, design, and creative entrepreneurship. I'd love to see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.